Hi, Manna family. You know, pandemics can create fear because they're invisible and often deadly. Joshua had the experience of fighting a largely unknown enemy in Canaan. Joshua and Israel have just crossed over the Jordan River and they are now facing their very first battle in Canaan. General Joshua goes on a reconnaissance mission to plan the attack against the walled city of Jericho, and he encounters far more than he bargained for. Joshua 5:13 tells us, "Now it came about when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. And he said," and Joshua went up to him and said, "Are you for us or for our adversaries?" And he said, "No, rather I indeed come now as captain of the host of the Lord." And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and bowed down and said to him, "What has my Lord to say to his servant?" And the captain of the Lord's host said to Joshua, "Remove your sandals from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so. You know, Joshua was no armchair general. He personally went to the front lines himself to gather intelligence. He thought he saw an armed soldier, and he immediately advanced toward this potential threat and demanded, "Are you for us or against us?" In wartime, neutrality is seldom tolerated. Either you're a friend or foe. This man didn't answer Joshua's question. He simply identified himself as the captain of the host of the Lord. This man was none other than the Lord Jesus Christ in pre-incarnate form. Here's a fundamental principle we should never forget. God never comes in and takes sides. God always comes in and takes over. I'm going to repeat that. God never comes in and takes sides. God always comes in and takes over. Once Joshua recognized that he was face to face with God, he bowed in humility and asked God for directions because he knew he was not in charge. God is always in charge. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln once said, "Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right." The only proper response to the presence of the Lord is humility and worship. God then told Joshua the battle plan to conquer Jericho was to march around the city for 7 days, and then the walls would fall down flat. You know, from a human standpoint, that is impossible and it doesn't make any sense. But with God, nothing is impossible. There's an old hymn tune that says, "God moves in a mysterious way, his wonders to perform. He plants his footsteps in the sea and rides upon the storm." Today, this COVID-19 virus is an enemy because it harms and kills people. God is our commanding general, and he has plans for his people. He has plans for this virus, and he has plans for this world. God uses everything, including pandemics, to shape his world and to make us like Jesus, and obviously that includes us. So God's purpose for this virus goes way beyond our understanding. But just like Jericho, God's plans will surely come to pass. Like Joshua, we need to ask him to lead and commit ourselves to follow his lead, because whenever God comes in, he doesn't come in to take sides. He comes in to take over. Remember, God designed us to do life together,